always scared to start.
That is Michael Marcagi there. I almost struggled to say his name. And that is Scared to Start. Delighted now to be joined in studio by Cassie Jane, who is the founder of Dairy Meetups and also runs a digital marketing consultancy firm. Good afternoon, Cassie. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So we're talking today about meetups.
Yes.
So you lived away. You've been living in Derry now for 3 years. Mm-hmm. So how did this come about? Or maybe explain to us what these meetups are first for people.
Yeah, it started off really quite casually. I just found that I was really needing to meet some more people, connect with some people. We'll dive into it, but I haven't been drinking in the last couple of years, and I work for myself. So the chances to meet new people, especially after being away for so long, was quite limited. So it was just an idea that I had actually back in January, but I just sat with it for a little while because I thought I was the only lonely person around.
Definitely not.
And then from April we launched. Again, it was a bit of a sudden thing. I just launched the Instagram page, didn't think too much of it, and then in the first week we got 60,000 views across all of our platforms, and it just blew up. And from that, businesses got involved. They reached out wanting to help us host events and have loads of different ideas of how we could collaborate. And it's not felt like work or tough to do. It's grown very organically. So, lots of different types of events.
But that 60,000 views shows the demand for it and the need for it here, because there's nothing really like that, isn't there not?
No. And I found there was quite a few things happening, in and around Dublin, a few things in Belfast, but nothing really in the Northwest. And with Donegal on our doorstep and so much to be doing in the summer and the winter, it seems a sin not to be making use of it.
So what kind of people do get involved? What kind of demographic have you noticed?
It really is such a variety. It was definitely a lot more women at the very beginning. And women from maybe the mid-20s to mid-40s. But with the different variety of events that we have, we are attracting so many different types of people. So, for instance, on the weekend, I took a group surfing in Portneuf. And it was actually more men than women that turned up, and it's just it really is depending on the event. But the kind of the line that goes through everyone is just looking for something different, looking to find new people to connect with, lots of like-minded individuals, and just needing something different.
Yeah, and it's kind of the case too. Somebody organises it for you.
Yeah,
so they just have to come along. Yourself, you might be like, I'll do this or do that, but you have it all organised for them. So from the moment they meet you that day, talk us through what happens. I know every event is different, obviously.
Yeah. So I always call myself, I'm the friendly face at the event. So it's events that I organise myself, but also events that are going on in and around Derry and Donegal that I want to go to. And I will just let people know that I'm going to be there, and I'm the friendly face, and I'll work with the business or the facilitator to make sure that it is a safe space for someone to come on their own, and then helping them connect with other people. And with the events that I run, quite selfishly, I'm just running events that I want to go to. It's accountability to myself as well to get out the house. So I'm always buzzing for whatever we're doing, because it's mostly just my interests that are open
but there's so many people that will be your age and be interested in the same things that will come along.
So it's great. We all introduce ourselves. We do now have quite a few people who come regularly, and there's some people now who even at the weekend were with us. If you looked at them at their first event, I know a girl who had to wait 15 minutes in the car before coming through the door because she was so nervous. And you just wouldn't. The growth that she's even done in the last couple of months with having these spaces is incredible. So,
and the amount of friends obviously she's made along the way. And we were talking before we came on air about people living away. You yourself lived away for a long time in different parts of the world, and now you've been in Derry for 3 years. But there's so many people in that situation, or people have gone to college, they've come back, maybe their friends are still away, so this is ideal for them.
Like I said, I genuinely thought this was just a me problem. I just thought I was the only one who was struggling to connect with people, and I thought it was because I didn't drink or I worked for myself. But there's so many different contexts that people are finding themselves in where they are just looking for something different. And I mentioned not drinking, like it's not by any means a sober community. It's just a space that can give people an option to explore something different outside of a bar.
Yeah.
And so people might have lived away like me and come home and find they can't connect with people the same way, or they might find their friends are at different life stages to them, or partners being brought back to Derry, who are needing their own little community as well. So there's so many different reasons why people are coming, and but yeah, all to really just connect with other people.
And you mentioned there about being sober. You've been sober now for a year. Was that a decision that you felt you had to make, or you wanted to make like a lifestyle choice?
It was definitely more of a lifestyle choice. I think I've been exploring it really since I've come home the last 3 years. And there's been times where it's been easier than others. But yeah, I've had a milestone last week of a full year with not a drop, which is, again, I didn't really know whether to share that with many people. I sometimes feel like I can be a bit of a soapbox, standing on a soapbox. I think
there's such a shift in culture now that so many people are opting not to.
Yeah.
And like, especially people say that they're used to going out every weekend. They, people want to enjoy their weekends now and not waste it.
Yeah. And I just found, it wasn't, I love a good night out. I still go on nights out now sober, and I would have really enjoyed a drink, but it wasn't so much even the hangover. We all say, oh, I'm never going to drink again, but it wasn't that. I just felt, even for like a week afterwards, I would just be so emotionally dysregulated, and I just didn't like myself. And being self-employed, I don't have a big scary boss to keep me accountable, and it would just be so easy to not get done what I needed. And so like when people ask me why I don't drink, I say, oh, I've just got too much to do. Yeah. And in my work, but also in my Saturday mornings and my Sunday mornings. And, a couple of weeks ago, with another community that's actually opened up as well, Ramble With Me, which is a hiking group that we would collaborate a lot with. They're very aligned in their values with us as well. We did a sunrise hike an hour ago in the middle of summer. So we met at 3 a.m. And we were down by 6. Yeah. And so
there is it's great to see that now, and like embracing what is here locally as well is great.
Yeah, because we're so blessed with the country that we have. And I think a lot of people move away, a lot of young people move away. And, obviously I lived in Australia. Australia is beautiful. But people go away to look for this certain lifestyle. And we can create that with what we have. We're spoiled with what we have, and people should really be embracing that more.
That's it, because there's so many beaches, and like I live in a town, but if I do go to like near the beach, it's so lovely getting up and doing like a cold water dip. Yeah, like exactly. I never imagined I would have been that person.
Neither,
but I do love it, and you feel great. Yeah, and you do feel like you kind of be like, well, I drank the night before, because then you're like, I won't actually do it the next day.
Exactly.
But yeah, like it's great just going down to the beach and walking the beach, even when you do live in like a city or a town.
It's crazy to me how I spent so much of my life away from the coast now since moving home. How important it is for my life now.
Yeah. Definitely. So how can people get in touch, Cassie, if they want to come along to one of them meetups?
So we do have a website where all of our upcoming events are listed. So it's derrymeetups.com. We're on Instagram, Derry Meetups. We're on TikTok. We're on Facebook. Obviously, with my background in digital marketing, I wanted to cover all the bases.
Yes, it all feeds in.
But I think the most important thing for people to realise is that you can come to things on your own. It is a real barrier for people. If they want to go to something but they're too nervous to try or get out of their comfort zone. But this is exactly what that's for. So I really do encourage, whether you have someone to come with or not, just you will have someone to leave with.
It sounds great. Well, I think it will grow in strength to strength. And everybody get in touch, and you could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Cassie.
Thank you so much.